Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So starting off with Euro USD as usual, and we still have not pulled back into the area I'd be looking at. There are sellers coming in. You can see by these tails here on the 8 hour, and if we just drill down to the 1 hour, you can see yesterday was pretty much a big down, big up, big down day. So a bit of confusion. We do have a crossover now, but we are in between the moving averages. So whenever we're in between the moving averages like this, I tend to sit my hands. I am expecting some kind of a buying opportunity here. Granted, we have a little bit of a bearish stance on the moving averages, but oscillators are grouped to the downside. And if you look at the 8 hour, see how they are separating. Whenever they separate and cross over, you see it's happened twice in the last 2 weeks, there's normally a pretty solid move to the upside. So I'm expecting kind of the same thing, but out of this area. So buying area for me at the moment is still between 104,470 and 104,300. So I would expect price to get somewhere into this area. Then I'm looking for price action, so that'll be inside bars, engulfing bars, or pin bars on the level, not below the level, not just above the level. I want them on the level, like this. Well, this range bar was on the level, so was this bar here. You can see the tail touch the level, but that's not a good example. A good example you see here, we closed on the level, and then hanging man, confirmation, your entries below the hanging man, and there was your short set up there. So that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. Don't see anything else. That is a decent setup right now. So we wait for this zone. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. We are getting back into a zone here, which is pretty much the reverse of what we're seeing on Euro USD. Difference is here we're in a clear downtrend, and you can see moving averages crossed over, everything is leaning towards the downtrend. Diversions forming here, so I'm expecting a rejection in this area. So if we get down to the hour, you'll see converse is true. We've got sort of a bullish setup happening here, but I don't think that's going to be something that we should be looking at. So we're looking to short off 137,526 as the first area, but then every one of these tails, so this tail and this tail here, will offer resistance. So all the way up to 137,997. You can round that off to 138 if you want to as well. So that's the zone we're watching for. So we want to see some price action up there, and I would want to see 1 hour price action there. That would give me the opportunity to get in. So basically what that's forming is, probably see it on the 3 hour, is you'll see this flag that's forming. Big move down, trend is clearly to the downside, and this is the flag reforming. I'm expecting some kind of a buying opportunity here. Moving on to British pound, Japanese yen. Pound is actually nowhere at the moment. Again, rejecting this level off the top here. And if we just drill down through the time frames, you'll see big up, big down, big up, big down. This is complete confusion at the moment. We had 3 attempts at getting through 167,208. We failed on all 3 attempts. So third time unlucky. Now what we're doing is we're in amongst the moving averages. So I'm really not interested in this just yet. Even if you traded London breakout here, you would have been frustrating yourself completely. So until I see some structure, and to be quite honest, we're going to have to break through these 2 levels here before I even look at this. So I'm sit on hands. One thing to point out in the 8 hours, we do have a grouping, well, not a grouping, but looking like a crossover on the oscillators here, but we're still in amongst the moving averages, and the moving averages are flat. So I want to see, if we've got a crossover, I want to see them pointing down for a short, or I want to see them pointing up for a long. Until we see that, I am sitting quietly. Moving on to Euro, British pound, and the same thing here. Let's just start with the 8 hour rather. So we are in a bit of a downward trend, but this is just so messy right now. So it's big up, big down, big up. You can see by the moving averages, we are clearly in a downtrend. So you should be looking for opportunities to short, and there is a level here but we have tested it as well 3 times. So is this a case of third time unlucky or fourth time lucky for a break to the upside? I don't trust this at all. And when you look at it on the hour, you can see what I'm talking about. So for 2 days now, we've tested that level above and below the moving averages yesterday in a really aggressive fashion. So you can see big moves down, big moves up, big moves down, big moves up. I'm not interested in this, to be honest. I think we'll just sit quietly on the sides. I'm expecting either the same, or we're going to get a fake out, or we're going to get a proper run and then come back and find support. That would get me long. Otherwise, we are going to be looking at another rejection here for a move to the downside, and probably, by the looks of things, buy off that trend line there. No structure that we can see that I'm even interested in. So yeah, so I think the dollar is interesting. It's worth watching, but the pound, I think, leave it alone. Let's see what happens today, and possibly later in the week. We'll see if there's any data coming out that may impact it. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.